What's up, everybody? My name is Shannon, and I am still waiting for my Satyr, and I am very excited because today we are going to be talking about Tower of Drawn, the 6th book in the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. So I know that there is a lot of weirdness surrounding this book. A lot of people weren't sure if it was going to be part of the actual series, if it was just a standalone. A lot of people don't actually care about Chaol and wanted to skip it entirely. Well, I'm gonna tell you now, you cannot skip this book. It is the 6th book in the series, and you need it to understand what's going to be happening in endgame stuff, because oh my god, we get so much information in this book. I loved this book so much. I really connected to it personally, and I think that this is something that's going to sit with me for a very long time. I mean, I got to actually meet Sarah J. Maas the day after my birthday and have this book signed by her, and that made my day. And after that, I was really worried. I'm like, what if I don't like this book? Now it's all signed and pretty and I love it, but what if I hate the story? I freaking loved the story. So for those of you who don't know, this is the Chaol novel. This runs parallel to Empire of Storms and tells us what happened to Chaol when he left to go to the southern continent to find help for Aelin's army. After Queen of Shadows, we saw that he was very badly hurt. He has no use of his legs, he's confined to a wheelchair, and he's in a really, really dark place. And this story is about healing, not just his legs, but his soul, and that spoke to me on such a personal level. And it doesn't just follow Chaol, it also follows Nesryn as she kind of learns about herself and goes on adventures and reconnects with her homeland. And we also get Irene Towers, who was in Assassin's Blade. Now, I actually haven't read Assassin's Blade yet, but after this book, I really need to know more about Irene Towers because she is officially my new favorite character. She's amazing, she's a healer, and just the way that she is, the way she thinks about things is absolutely breathtaking. Her entire arc just blew me away, and I'm afraid to say too much about her because I don't want to spoil it at all. I really don't want to spoil it for you guys, but I absolutely loved it, and I really, really connected with it. And what's truly amazing is I've always liked Chaol. He's been one of my favorite characters, and yes, he makes huge mistakes, and he has to live with those mistakes, but I never disliked him, and a lot of people were starting to hate on him, and I, for some reason, couldn't pull myself out of him, and I found myself, not liking Aelin. For a while, I didn't even want to call her Aelin. I still called her Selena, and I didn't really know why, and it wasn't until I read this book that I understood that everything Chaol says is the same things that I was dealing with Aelin, and it just hit me on such a personal level. The entire back half of this book is just absolutely breathtaking. All of the character development, all of the revelations, it just blew me away, and it had me just almost in tears. I wasn't crying, but I wanted to cry. It was, nothing will ever get me, I think, quite like Court of Wings and Ruin. That had me sobbing, but this book just really hit me. I felt it on such a personal level, and I loved every single minute of it. Now, of course, it isn't without its flaws. There were some points that dragged for me. I was really into Irene and Chaol's story, so whenever it switched to Nesryn, I wasn't as into it, but towards the end, she starts learning a lot of big things, and a lot of big things start happening to her, and it was really, really interesting to see. And actually, when we start getting the balance and see the knowledge and everything fitting together, it's so, so amazing. And every time they would mention Aelin or Adian or just Dorian or any of that kind of stuff, it was so exciting. And you'd get excited, and then you'd get sad, because then you remembered what happened at the end of Empire of Storms. And there's one thing in particular that we find out in this book, and it made me really excited. And then the dread settled upon me, because I'm like, oh no, they don't know. They're gonna get there, and they don't know. Are they gonna know? Are they gonna find out? Are they gonna tell him? So yeah, I just I'm super worried. I don't know what's gonna happen. Basically all this book has done is it made me super happy, and it I connected to it, but it's also given me a lot of anxiety for the end of Throne of Glass series. I don't know what's going to happen, but after this book, it is going to be one wild ride. I know that for sure. If you couldn't tell, I highly recommend this book. If you were thinking about skipping it, for one, you can't, but for two, you shouldn't, because this book is so amazing. It's so refreshing. It's interesting to see a story that doesn't have Aelin in it, but be so impacted by Aelin. Like, she is kind of the driving force for why this book is able to happen, obviously, because, you know, Chaol wouldn't go there if it wasn't for her and, like, that kind of thing. But she is so woven within this story, and everything really does happen thanks to her. And that's absolutely beautiful to see, because she's not present in this book at all. And I just absolutely loved it. One thing that the author said when I was at the signing was that she sat down to this book, and it wasn't supposed to be as long as it was, but the story just poured out of her, and you really feel that as you're reading it. Her heart and soul is on these pages, and you could truly feel it. And I feel like as I was reading it, like, part of my soul kind of poured into it, and I learned so much about myself from the story, and it was just truly such a special experience. And I cannot recommend this book enough. If you haven't been reading the series, then you need to be reading the series, because obviously this isn't going to make any sense to you if you're watching this video, and this is the 6th book in a series, but this has just, like, been so amazing, and it makes me happy and sad at the same time, because the series is almost over. But I'm just so excited and so anxious to see what's gonna happen next, and I want to know how Chaol and Irene's arcs are gonna play out. I feel so invested with them and with Nezrin and just all of our people here, and yeah, I am just so excited. And I'm really excited because I'm probably going to start rereading Heir of Fire, I think, because that's kind of where I started getting moody, because I liked Chaol and Chaol was moody and that kind of thing. So I really am excited to start doing that. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, be sure to hit that like button down below, and don't forget to subscribe so you can talk books with me every Monday. That is everything got for today, guys. I will see you next time. Bye.